Hello everybody, it is Grim Fables here. I apologize in advance if I sound a little bit stuffy, I've got a tiny bit of a cold going on, but today I wanted to quickly talk about something that dropped into the Monk Station and that is causing quite a bit of a stir on Twitter and I believe on Reddit as well. It is the Cruise Chaser mount, which we expected to be, well, when it got added into the game and data miners found it, a lot of people had different expectations for it. They expected that it was going to be the PvP reward mount, it was going to be this, it's going to be that, but they didn't expect it to be from an achievement. And, well, to put a long story short, as you can see now, it's none of those things. It is about 20 euros or 25 USD on the Mog Station. I believe I've even seen reports of it being 30 bucks. That could be an exaggeration. As you can see, my store is set to pounds because I'm not logged in yet right now. However, I quickly wanted to talk about this. Let me quickly set it to USD, maybe that'll change. Yeah, oh wow, it actually is 30 USD, which is weird because... Let me quickly switch back to GBP, because if you set it to GBP, right, and you set it to USD, it's 25, so this is effectively, for whatever reason, much more expensive. Yeah, no, not French. I'm trying to get this back. We're off to a great start. So, I have a couple of thoughts about this, and I'll be honest, it's nothing against the development team, it's a little bit against the marketing team, right? In the last expansion that we had in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, when it came down to unlocking things, and when it came down to endgame content, the game was very lacking. That's because the pandemic affected a lot of the development, even though they said it wouldn't affect the development anymore. There's already been a lot of sacrifices made. We've had, unlike previous expansions, we have not had any PvP weapons that have nice looks or effect or a unique look to them. We got some robotic armor, which was akin to Metal Gear Rising Revengeance and a couple of different things. And those were very, very nice, but we never got accompanying weapons. In the past, there have been multiple sets throughout the expansion that get added, and we never got a second set. We never even got a second set of weapons either. Which I could understand because of the you know, everything that's been going on, but everything else suffered as a consequence as well. There's just not been a lot of end-game stuff to unlock, and there's not been as much. So when the long wait until Endwalker is here, which is still over 90 days, we're past the 100 days mark now. As I record this, we're at day 98, but we've got 3 months to go, plus, at least, until Endwalker is here. Now, we're going to be getting a bear mount soon, which is a little bit of a funny one. There's been speculation about the bear mount, that the bear mount is essentially, hey, we're in the middle of summer, but we're getting a snow bear that has a giant ice crystal in the midst of blizzard melting down. You know, so it's funny to make that link. I don't know if that's intentional or not. It's probably not. I don't see any malice from the Final Fantasy XIV towards Blizzard because of the fact that the development team very much so respects World of Warcraft. I don't know if they necessarily respect the development team as it currently stands, but they definitely respect the game and what's been done over the years. I know Yoshi P had been a big fan of it. But in any case, we're now here, we've got the Cruise Chaser mount. It's not a PvP mount, it's not a Triple Triad mount, which was even something that went around until we got the Lalafell on a bit of jam toast floating around. And look, I understand why people are frustrated. Personally, I feel that with the long wait still here, it would have been a very good incentive to add a new achievement in the game and add this mount behind it. Like, oh hey, clear minimum item level Alexander, blah 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 blah, whatever, wherever this came from, I don't remember. But there are different ways to do this. There's even a couple of really cool, I believe there's a really cool mount locked behind Blue Mage. There might be incentive for people to go back and run Alexander synced with Blue Mages again. If you put stuff like this in, it gives people something to do, and will it be for a long time? No. That much is clear. I know that after like 2 weeks, I've never seen another Blue Mage party for Alexander on the light party finder again. Of course, there's action, like, hey guys, I'm trying to get this action, can a couple of Blue Mages help me out? Those kinds of parties, those still exist, right? But Alexander parties don't exactly pop up as often anymore. So this could have been an incentive for people to come back and do it again. See, Alexander's right there in the background. So how do I put this? I've always had a little bit of a belief that there's just, it feels like they're trying to push, like, the marketing team, not the development team, because I think this is very much a marketing team decision. Yoshi P, I believe, has, at the end of the day, he does get to decide what goes onto the Mog Station, like, hey, we designed this for the Mog Station, or we designed this, you guys can do with it what you want. But the final say is down to, I believe, the marketing team. So I think we already kind of push things with 2 mounts, and that is the Lunar Whale mount and the Chocobo Carriage mount, which all of these mounts are account-wide unless it's stated otherwise, like the single character, right? Which a lot of these things are just, hey, these are event mounts. We gave them to you anyway. Like the chair, that one's from an event. This was from a Valentine event. I don't know where the magic carpet came from. The Sunspun, I'm not going to say that. That one came from, I believe, a promotion. I don't know where. But yeah, the Starlight Bear came from something. That was from an Heaven's Turn event, if I remember correctly. Exhilaration came from, you know, you get what I mean. So there's a lot of these mounts that come out from events. However, recently, one of the new mounts that came out was the Chocobo Carriage, which was, in my opinion, this one was more controversial. This was $30 for a mount with 4 people. For a 4-person mount, you could also do Eden's Gate Savage 4, and you would be able to get a 4-person mount from that. Its drop rate is 100%. So essentially, pay $30 and skip that, and just get a mount like that, and it looks good, right? It's the mount that you open the game with, that you meet Alphino and Alize in that one, and you meet like the Chocobo Carriage guy that you eventually end up sort of seeing in some aspect in the start of Shadowbringers, right? Just in the opening cutscene, like. I get it. There's some nostalgia to it, but this is $30 in euros, and in USD. This is probably the biggest one because the reason okay, I'm a EU person. Either GBP or Euro is going to apply to me. However, in America, a lot of these things go much higher. I don't know why, but the price is massively inflated when it comes down to this. You just saw this, but it's a massive inflation of the price. But yeah, so a lot of these mounts, they suffer from inflation. For whatever reason, I feel like it's far more expensive to get the US version than it is to get the GBP version. Just call it that. Because if I set this to Euro, to USD, I'm sorry, I don't know how to write. You're essentially paying, it's a little bit more, right? But it adds up over time. Essentially, you're paying $3 more. I think there's something with tax there. In any case, it feels like a lot of these mounts could have been something of an achievement. Like this is obviously a nostalgia pull, right? And it looks very nice. It's a cool mount. It's big, right? But I don't know. Is this worth does this look like it's worth $36? Keep in mind the immediate texture that you see there. And yes, I'm going to judge it based on the textures that it offers you. You're paying for the mount, right? I get that this is like 1.0 texture because essentially they're just giving you this mount, but at the end of the day, right, still what you're paying for. And another item, like there's several items like this, like for example, there's also in some of the costume sets, there's some really cool stuff. Kral's outfit, I believe, should have been an achievement or something. It didn't need to be something you pay for. There is this one, which this one's a big one that I fall back on a lot when it comes to the discussion of like, do they need to calm down with a cash shop? This is just a distressed version of an outfit that you get in the game. Is it useful? maybe if you want to get some sort of cosplay going, right? But overall, I don't see anything here that would inherently make me want to go, oh my god, I want this, right? And I would dare say that this is probably, and if any Square Enix staff watches this, right, feel free to, you know, DM me or email me or whatever. I think this is genuinely the least bought item in all of the cash shop. And I could be wrong because there's still the accessories, which also have their own things. There's a tool here, which, you know, Tonberry knife. I actually like these types of knives, so that's kind of cool. But, you know, there's various items in this game and in the cash shop that don't get much use as it is. And I don't see why they need to be such expensive like cash shop items. Whereas if you handed them like as an in-game item from an achievement or whatever, I feel like that could be a really, really cool addition, right? Like, for example, with Culinarian, you're often making sets of 3 when it comes to food, right? So what if you have like this huge number of items that you have to have made, and then you get this knife, and it's a glamour item. It doesn't add any function. This is one thing you have to keep in mind, by the way. Every single thing, from weapons to accessory to armor, has no actual stats in the game. It's a level 1 item. They don't do anything. It is literally just there to be glamored on and be stuffed in your glamour box, right? That's it. It serves no other purpose. The only things that actually affect your in-game stats are your Fantasias, which, you know, changes. This is probably the most bought item in the game, and Tales of Adventure, which are jump potions and stuff like that, right? And I've bought a couple of these. I've bought jump potions for jobs before, not for the story, for the jobs, because it just is easier. If you by the way ever wanted to know what the highest value is that you can get out of this, because yes, there is a way to kind of cheat the system tiny smidge, go for the Scholar or Summoner one. You'll also get the other one for free. Remember, they jump your Arcanist level, and Arcanist level is based on Scholar and Summoner at the same time. So if you decide to get your Scholar up to level 70, you're also going to get your Summoner to level 70. The more you know. In any case, yeah, it's... I don't know, the Cruise Chaser mount, I feel like it's something that they could have just added as an achievement in the game to incentivize people to play more, and it's kind of falling short. And I feel like a lot of people are disappointed by it, that it is a cash shop mount, and I understand that, especially when we were on it in game, because you're in game you're on it as part of a raid. Look, it's a 2-player mount. It had room for 8 people. This could have easily been an 8-player mount, right? But the Lunar wheel has been added, and that was supposed to be a really big timed exclusive that was going to be $42. A lot of people have it. I believe I have it, and an entire party is going to fit on that thing, right? I'll be entirely honest and very blunt about this, right? A lot of people were salty about this, that this was $42. If you'd have made this the Cruise Chaser mount, a lot of people would have been far more okay with it, right? Because you're getting an actual raid boss as you know, as this. And yes, it would have been kind of hard to design it around this idea where people are clinging onto something. I don't know, make 2 cling onto the sides of it, make 1 sit on top of it, like right on the spike, you know, butt plug, and hanging off from the legs or whatever. But, you know, there's a lot of ways to implement this. A lot of these items, like I said before, they're just rehashes of in-game event stuff, and it's frustrating. But at the end of the day, the big word that it's always gonna ring true, right? This is always gonna ring true, and it's never gonna change, I believe, at least. Anything in the cash shop is not required. If you spent money on the cash shop, it's up to you to do so. It is your choice. And at the end of the day, even if you buy a story jump potion, right? You decide what you want to do with your money, and if it is buying a $42 whale, that is going to fit 8 people for your treasure hunt maps or whatever, entirely fine. Everybody else is good. I found it kind of funny. I bought it with the mentality of like, this will make treasure hunts easier, and the moment I got it and did treasure hunts, everybody still got into car mounts and 2 separate ones. You know what I mean? So, in any case, it's up to you what you do with your money at the end of the day. But it's worth mentioning that a lot of the sourness that people had towards World of Warcraft as a game is because a lot of the coolest shit ended up in the cash shop for ridiculous prices. From the notions that I got, right? I don't want to say we're heading into a WoW direction, because we've always kind of had this in Final Fantasy, where we just kind of have these things optionally, but we had them. I don't want to push it into the direction that we're heading into WoW's direction, but it's hard to shake the feeling when this could have been an achievement, when, let me see, where was it? This outfit could have been an achievement. Like, this one could have especially been an achievement, right? This one especially. The reason I say that these could be good as an achievement is because we've seen these things in game. They're attached to characters. These outfits I've never seen on a character in game. These outfits I've never seen on a character in game. The collegiate, right? The peacock attire, never seen it. Durandals, never seen it. Dasa, whatever, never seen it. The Bergsteiger, never seen it. Kral's outfit, I've seen. Nightseeker, I've seen. Brand new Ishtola, I've seen. Charlatan Prodigy, I've seen. Brand new Alphano, I've seen. In fact, I believe this is one giant thing, and I don't think you can even dye it. Is it dyeable? I don't think it is. No, you can't dye it. So it's literally that you're buying this for $15, and that's just the outfit. You do get a haircut. Sure, but I don't know. I don't think the haircut is worth $15. In any case, it's there's so many things that I feel like we've seen in game, and we could earn those as achievements. This one as well. Hey, let's do some of the coils. Let's do some of the coils. Or Cape Westwind on minimum item level, with like the new stuff, like the tale retold or whatever. The Shiva Unreal, Cape Westwind Unreal. This could have been a reward for it, you know. There's so many things that I believe should have been things in game, and we're already shilling out a lot of money for it. Elma's attire, look, I love Elma from Tactics, right? But it's I don't see why we need to shill out money for this kind of stuff, because it's in game. It's not even dyeable. And this is women's only, actually. So we didn't get Ramza's attire, but okay. It makes me sour, but these kinds of things always make me mad. I will say that in advance. These are things that were actually event items, and the fact that they're now in the cash shop is actually kind of cool, but that has lowered the value a little bit if you had them in game, because previously it was like, hey, go to this event and then you get these. In any case, doesn't matter. These outfits, never seen them in game before on an NPC, so this makes sense. These make sense. This I have seen, so this makes me mad. These I haven't seen. None of these I've seen. None of these I've seen. None of these I've seen. This one I've seen. Makes me mad. You know, that's my categorical thinking of this. Thoughting. I believe there should be a lot of stuff that should be achievements. And it incentivizes people to just go off the beaten path. If you go like, hey, I really like Minfilia's outfit. I'd really like that. Okay, well, here's something you need to do for it. It incentivizes people to play, and I think a returning sub is worth a lot more than your $30 on your mount, right? But that's my opinion. I'd rather get another person playing and then adding to the experience of others, rather than spending $30 just once on a mount that you're going to look at a couple of times and maybe impress like 6 times when you buy it next expansion, and then just never get a compliment for it again, because the car is probably much more advanced. Like Noctis's Final Fantasy 15 car, I feel like that one's looks fancier. This just, you know, I feel like it's just a bloated weapon in my opinion. I like the mount, right? Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's cooler than the car. But in any case, That's my opinion. If you have thoughts about this, everybody has thoughts about this. Let me know down in the comments below. Let's have a talk about this. What do you think? Should this have been an achievement? Should this have been a reward for clearing Alexander as a blue mage, perhaps? Again, because I think there's already a mount for it. Or should this have stayed in the cash shop, etc.? I already think it could have done better than just being a 2-person mount. In any case, my name is Grim Fables, which is not a name I've used many times before, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.